What helps you go to sleep when you don't feel tired? Reading. It's kinda sad but I've realized books put me to sleep now, even if it's an exciting book. That's not sad my dude. I know someone who reads to go to sleep. I myself would love to be able to do that. I play some stories in my head. Like you're suddenly a character in your favorite series and what would you do and stuff. I do the same thing, though sometimes the plot gets too deep and it causes me to not be able to sleep for even longer. It's a problem. Yeah, that happens to me too actually. I tell myself then I continue in the morning and then make the plot go to nighttime. I mostly never continue the plot in the morning, it's just a sweet little lie I tell myself. Get up for a little bit. Don't stay in bed for 3 hours when you're unable to sleep. Also get off your phone. Someone out there is probably reading this at night. On a phone. Yup, it's 3 AM for me and I'm reading this on a phone. I have imaginary conversations with fictional characters. Sometimes I vent or ask for advice guidance. Sometimes I give it. Sometimes I antagonize them. Sometimes I'm a character in their universe, part of their story. Sometimes I'm still me but I got stuck in their universe somehow. Sometimes I appear early in their story and have foreknowledge of their adventures and meticulously plan out how to minimize their tragedies. Eventually I'm dreaming. I do this thing that the US Army does. They start from their feet and only focus on one body part at a time. They completely relax their whole body section by section and then once completely relaxed they try not to think of anything and fall asleep in about 10 seconds. It used to take about 20 minutes for me to fall asleep by just laying there with my eyes closed but I tried this last week and I fell asleep straight away. Edit. By the way, I'm only 14 and my only source about the army was my friend's dad in the army, so I don't know if it was just his regiment, but for anyone saying that this isn't true, I don't know for sure if it's true for the whole military. ASMR. Not going to lie. Super weird. But after a lifetime of brutal insomnia, you have to imagine my eye rolling skeptical yeah, I guess I'll try anything once, followed by listening to about 3 minutes of someone rubbing a mannequin head's earlobes into a powerful microphone. And then waking up 10 hours later wondering what the f just happened. It's not for everyone, mind. But being cured overnight of the biggest cause of suffering and poor health in my life means that I feel morally obligated to recommend this to everyone. Pretending to be asleep. Fake it till you make it. I saw it described as the serial killer method. But basically, if you create a scenario where you are pretending to be asleep, it helps you fall asleep. I will sometimes decide that I've closed my eyes for the night and try not to open them until the morning, and it's very helpful. Basically I convince myself I've given up and go on my phone or play 3DS and make a plan to read something or play to a measurable point. So that there's something that I want to stay awake for. Something that sleep would interrupt. Puts me right the f to sleep, and I'm never sure if I should be glad or annoyed lol. Whenever I watch TV in the afternoon, I fall to sleep. So genius me thinks if I can't sleep, just watch TV. Turns out I only fall asleep when the intention is not to sleep. I think you're onto something. Probably not the healthiest method and not something to rely on, but eating a large meal knocks me out. I do the same. I eat a big ass sandwich with almost everything in it, and sleep with a warm chubby tummy. It's not the best method, but it is one of the best feelings about sleeping for sure. I started gorging myself on water. I'll guzzle down 2 to 3 large glasses of water and it produces the same effect. Plus you'll have an automatic wake up timer in the form of a swollen bladder. I learned a trick recently that helped me a lot. I count backwards from 99. Slowly. The key is to do it slowly, and I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Think the number, then take a pause that feels a little bit too long before thinking the next number, then take another pause. 99. Pause. 98. Pause. 97. Pause. 96. Pause. The lowest I've ever counted is into the 60s or maybe the 50s before I fall asleep. Often, I'm asleep before I'm through the 80s. Sometimes I'll lose track of what the next number is because I catch myself falling asleep, so I'll start over, and I always fall asleep quickly after that. Again, the key is to count backward. SLOWLY. Before I started doing this, I used to toss and turn in bed for hours trying to fall asleep. But this knocks me out in minutes. Maybe you're wondering why start at 99? Why not 100? If I start at 100, I hear Bono's voice from the Rattle and Hum version of Bullet the Blue Sky, saying slapping M down. 100, 200, which eventually leads to am I bugging you? Don't mean to bug you from silver and gold. And that bugs me, which makes it even harder to fall asleep, goddammit. So, I start at 99 instead, because f that. I'm at negative 486. Did I do it wrong? You're not slow enough. I just make up stories in my head. Sometimes I'm in the world of a TV show I like or in my own little dream universe I made where I have made up characters and such. And eventually I just fall asleep doing this. I do that shit all the time. I now think there's something wrong with me. A technique which I call 478. In 4 seconds you inhale, keep air in for 7 seconds and exhale for 8 seconds. Also try to relax while doing it. Bold of you to assume I have a healthy enough lung capacity to spend a solid 4 seconds inhaling before my lungs are full. Inhale slower. No need to inhale like you're an Olympic sprinter. White noise, such as rain sounds. For anyone interested, mynoise.net is a fantastic site full of noise generators. If you donate to their Patreon, even just a one-time donation, you get access to some more randomized ones with countless high-quality recordings of various nature sounds. Not only can it be good for sleeping, I've also found some of their more lively sounds are a great middle ground between music and silence for focusing on work. Not so much sound you get distracted, but not so silent you can hear your heartbeat. Masturbate. And this is how you train yourself to sleep as soon as you're done. Cuddles? Second round? Grab a bite? Take a shower? No. Every single day starting at 13 years old you've jizzed yourself to sleep. You can't sleep if you don't come, to the point that the first thing that happens when you're sleepy is you get hard. Your fantasies of satisfying multiple sexual partners and having legendary sex all night, they're just fantasies because your body has 20 years experience of immediately turning off as soon as you come. The solution? Obvious. Ascension through rigorous training. Masturbate, then get on the treadmill. Become the sex god you were supposed to be. Cuddling my plushies doesn't help me sleep, but it does calm me down to remind myself I had the softest bed at home with my plushies and a plush blanket. I tend to be anxious before sleeping and the anxiety keeps me thinking about the worst things. Generic diphenhydramine, also known as ZZZ Quill. Oh god, I wish I still could. It used to knock me out, but after using it a few too many times, it now leaves me extremely wired and paranoid. Still a good time sometimes though, and I use the word good loosely. My ex got to where she was taking 10-12 tablets nightly. Perhaps even more at her peak. I knew that was the most frequent number though. I think other people were onto the same gig, because she'd get those 100 count bottles at Walmart for $4 and they'd frequently be cleaned out. Cheesy as it is, Bob Ross painting videos on YouTube. He makes me feel safe and secure. Talking on and on about his animals. I love falling asleep to the funny stories he tells about his paintings. He calms me down a lot when I'm feeling anxious or upset, which is mainly the reason I stay up, and I can drift off dreaming about happy little clouds and trees, and a river that Bob fishes in. Orwell catches a fish, gives it CPR, names it and gives him a little pat on the toot toot and sends him on his whale mayo. This used to be what I did until I watched and rewatched all the episodes a few times. This is going to sound weird, but I slowly say goodnight to each of my body parts, starting with my toes and working up. Usually, I'm asleep by the time I hit my chest or so. If I'm not, I know it's going to be a long night. Let the Reddit ridicule begin. This is a great technique actually. It's harder to relax your whole body at once, but focusing on relaxing your toes, feet, legs, and all the way up your body is a very effective relaxation tool. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribe if you want more Ask Reddit.